I had to keep the volume down again on the theme song because I keep on forgetting to put a link for the actual song. I'll send you a link to the actual song. You can hear it. Not even anything that like you would think someone would get mad over from using. That's you.
It looks like I really did get a haircut. Man, they really did something on me then.
It looks nice. You look all dolled up. It's crazy.
No, that person that was on there, man.
Oh, right there. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. My hair got cut.
Or just it grew out because that was an old picture. It grew out.
Yeah.
Oh. Hey everyone, welcome to WeinerCast. I'm here with one of my favorite people of all time, Reika. How's it going?
Hey, not bad. How are you?
I'm doing all right. iBender says, yo, it's been a while. I'm like, yeah, it's literally been 3 weeks since the last WeinerCast.
It's been a while for me, though. It's been probably, about a month and a half almost? Like, when was that last time?
Something like that, about a month and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah. But,
yeah. It got crazy the last time, too.
What?
Things got crazy.
It was insane, yeah.
It was. There was, one topic, and I think we only talked about it for, maybe a minute, I think, tops, and we were on for, 3 hours?
Yeah, I think we just spent the whole time just yelling at LaToya's kids.
It was like free Emmett.
Oh.
Emmett for life. All those.
Today we're going to be talking about 2 movies that we watched recently.
Yes.
If you're clicking and you see the title, you'll know what 2 movies we're talking about. Kingdom of the Spiders, fucking instant classic.
Yes,
I gotta say that right away. Instant classic. And then the other movie is Mystery Team, but we'll get into. Should we do Mystery Team first, since we'll have more fun talking about Kingdom of Spiders?
I feel like there's more to talk about with Kingdom, maybe. So yeah, do you wanna?
Yeah, we'll start with Mystery Team, starring Donald Glover and Aubrey Plaza, and a few other people who were just strapping young hoodlums in this movie.
Yeah, the coolest part about that movie, I have to say, like you said, Donald Glover. There's Aubrey Plaza. There's also Ellie Kemper. When I looked up after we had watched it, it was like the thing that had kind of gotten them noticed. And I think that's really cool because look at where they are now.
I think it was Donald Glover and his 2 buddies that in the movie that played Duncan and the other kid that was the strongest boy in town.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was them 3 that wrote it, if I'm not mistaken. And it was just something they were doing, because they were just buddies in college, and they just did that thing. And the production value was very well done for the film. And like I said before when we talked about it in private, it was a lot more fun when I saw it 10 or so years ago, when I was younger, than it was today. And I was like, I get what my friends were saying back then when I was in love with it. And
yeah, it was not my personal favorite, but I do think it is interesting, though, just to see that progression of Donald Glover. Seeing that and then seeing where he is now. I really enjoyed that aspect of it, of just, seeing how something like that, it's okay. You might have, even though he wrote it, it's not the greatest, but you can progress and get more and more and more, and look what he's become, and look who he has become.
And in that aspect, it's sort of inspiring, because we're always so critical of our work that we do, and and look where people who are today, like, well, everyone started out writing complete garbage and they got it out there, and some people like it, some people they're like, but then you keep pushing shit out there and you get better and better and better. And that's exactly what Donald Glover did. He became like, I remember like 5 years ago, he was on the cover of like Forbes, you know, like just doing everything. He's a rapper, he's an actor, he's a fucking whatever, dude. Like whatever he does, he's doing it. Whatever it is to do, he's doing it.
I know my friend who is out in LA now, and he's working. I think he's like an assistant to a showrunner. And you remember one time I was out in LA and I saw him, and he was like, "I want to be like Donald Glover." And I thought to myself, "Yeah, you've got it in you. Like he can do it all." And you know, that's a good person to aspire to, I could say.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know.
Absolutely. Like, if there's anybody you want to be like, it'd be him. Like,
oh yeah, definitely.
That show Atlanta that he does is spectacular.
That's great, and it was just an interesting movie. I knew about 10 minutes in. If I had just been watching on my own, I probably would have been like off. I would have turned it off. But yeah, you know, from studying it and everything, the structure was there. So obviously, because I think he was working on 30 Rock around the time. So as a writer, so like he knew structure, he knew the story structure, and arcs were there and everything. And so I could go on about stuff like that. I don't want to bore your audience with little things like that, but I mean, it was there. So clearly, you know, it was something that, yeah, she had a grasp on and everything. It was, how do I say this? It was just a little more of, not even like, it wasn't necessarily even slapstick. It was just more of like,
it was like trying to enjoy like an Adam Sandler movie today.
Yeah, I haven't seen one in a long time. Like,
but if you like go back and try to watch like Billy Madison, you'll be like, this what?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I'd have to actually.
You have to.
One in a long time.
Actually, my best friend Jeremy and I are supposed to be doing a whole like every single Adam Sandler movie marathon eventually, and doing discussions on that as well.
That'd be fun.
So if you want to be part of that team, come aboard.
Yeah, I like some of the early ones, so it would be interesting because I haven't seen any of those movies, like the Billy Madison and Happy Gilmore's, Little Nicky, anything like that, since I think probably pre-grad school. So it's kind of even the same as like some of Matt Stone, Trey Parker stuff of like Orgasmo and Basketball, even though they didn't write that. Just to kind of go back and see. I haven't seen those since before grad school to see how good or bad they were. Because of now.
I watched Basketball like 5 or 6 years ago, and it wasn't as good as it was. I still enjoyed it. It just wasn't as good as when I was a kid watching it.
Yeah. Yeah. They had some great moments in that one. One of my favorite ones in Basketball, it was when they were playing and before the sport had actually become what it was. And he's going, Steve Perry. And then just all of a sudden he's like, should have been gone. It's like, what? I like that part, but that was just me.
That's good stuff.
Yeah.
I had a point to go back to Mystery Team, but I forgot what it was. But
the kid was funny in it.
The little girl?
No, the little boy who had at the end, he was like, like 3 times or however made that, you know, like that. Like, he had good lines, like there were one-liners for him, you know.
Yeah.
Matt Walsh, He was in it. That was great to see him in it.
Matt Walsh.
The actor he used to be in Upright Citizens Brigade.
I am not familiar with that either.
Veep.
What? Huh?
Veep.
Veep?
He was on Veep. Mm-hmm.
I'm not familiar with that one either.
He was at the Office Party.
Was he the turtle or the cowboy?
Cowboy.
The cowboy? Okay, that's who I thought. That's who I was thinking.
Yeah.
You were.
So that's always nice to see him pop up places.
Yeah, he pops up in so much stuff. He's at
like random stuff, and you're like, I didn't know that he's in that.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
Something was interesting. I remember what I was going to say. Something was interesting when we were watching the movie, and you're like, "Is Aubrey Plaza the killer?" And I was all like, I never even thought about her ever being the killer watching the movie. And I was like, that would have been a really cool twist because like the whole time she was trying to like get them off the case and do all like
well,
like
it was throwing so many signs that it was just kind of like, did she? Like, what is she hiding? What is there something behind that, or is it just that was like her way of brooding? So yeah.
Yeah, but realistically, she just didn't think a bunch of high school seniors that act like they're 10 could solve a murder case.
Yeah. Yeah. To an extent, I feel like, and I know it would have been even more like highly inappropriate in a lot of areas, but it really would have been, in my opinion, maybe possibly funnier, just to entertain the thought, if it actually had been little kids solving it. Because then you see little kids getting involved in a drug deal, and then you see little kids getting involved in places that, or you know what I mean, like talking to the junkie, and I mean like little things like that. But then I just think that would be kind of an interesting twist to it, instead of them acting like they were kids.
Yeah,
it had been, and then but then it gets into a lot of issues of like having a kid there that's and stuff.
Just imagine the writers' room though, like before, like while they were figuring out what, like, just imagine how fun that was. We're all like, yeah, we're a bunch of high schoolers. We act like we're 10, and we solve mysteries. But this is our first time doing a murder. Like, I don't know, I'm just shooting all this shit back and forth. Like, I took this writing workshop like many years ago, and it was fun just sitting in this small room with just a bunch of people, and was working on these mini projects where like we have to get done in like 30 seconds or whatever, or we're timed, and we're throwing ideas at each other, and like it was fun to be in that little experience. And I was like sad on the very last day that it like no man.
Yeah, some of those can be good, some of them aren't, but yeah, it is fun. And even if you're working on something alone, I know for me, like I had done, and it's still just a first draft, I really like to do more of them to get it into a better place and better shape. But I did like a road trip comedy, but to do research beforehand, I watched all the movies like Road Trip and a few others, and I'm like, well, what do they have in common? Like what are certain things, obstacles that they have to get through to get to, their goal in the movie. And then it was like, well, let me make a list and see what I can come up with for these characters, and sometimes pre is almost more fun than writing.
Yeah.
You're doing the research.
Yeah.
Doing the, everything else like that, like coming up with stuff. And then you're like, will it work? Will it not? And just trying to figure it out. And yeah, you don't even want to know what I had to run into when I was working on that script that you read like the first like 2 pages of. Can you imagine?
You'll have to tell me in private if you don't want to be publicly out there.
Yeah, it was interesting. So
shoot, now I'm curious, but we'll save that for later.
Yeah, it was a test of character, definitely. If you want to, you never knew what you were gonna see, and it's just like, hey. Sometimes it's really cool though,
Yeah. Oh shoot.
Yeah.
If you were to rate this movie like on a scale of whatever you want to scale,
Like a 1 to 10.
1 to 10, whatever, how would you rate this film?
Like 10 being the greatest.
10 being like absolutely astounding. There's nothing better.
I'd give it maybe a 3. And I say that just because, like, the cast, and then there was structure.
Yeah.
So I don't know how many people are tuned in, but just I know obviously you know that you're like one of my best friends, but I have a degree in screenwriting, so that's why I'm going to geek out over certain aspects or mention certain things about like structure or like
Absolutely.
twist if this like with the characters.
That's
and
why I like that because me and my buddies, we pretend like we know what we're talking about when we talk about that stuff when we do our other movie reviews.
Mhm.
So it's a breath of fresh air to have someone who actually does know a little bit of what they're talking about when it comes to this, or at least more than anybody else I've had on here.
Yeah. Well, and that's the
The
thing too.
professional.
Well, I'm not a professional. Trust me, I've had one movie, like short film, produced, and it was because I was in grad school, he was in grad school, he needed his thesis written. He was doing way too much. He had the idea, gave it to me, so I wrote it. And
Yeah.
so that, and then just a documentary I did on my own when I was in undergrad. It was kind of like a thesis. It was an independent study. And then I tried to do one in 2008. I didn't say tried. It got 144 views on YouTube, and then I took
Nice.
it down when I deleted my account and stuff. But yeah, it was about it was a short film about an ice cream man who sought revenge on a businessman who uh, did a hit and run on the ice cream cart.
I like that idea.
Yeah. Well, it was a first draft, so it clearly, and when you have no money and no proper equipment.
Yeah.
But the guy who played the ice cream man, Bill Miller, he was amazing. He was so funny. So, great actor. Yeah. No, he really was. So,
How'd you get an ice cream truck, or did you just know someone who had one?
didn't. It was just a cart, and so it was an old
Okay, one of those.
yeah, like a push cart.
Okay.
It was metal, and then my uncle, sadly, who passed away 2 years ago, he was a handyman, and he helped me take some old like paneling, and not just the actual side that was like decorative, but the back of it, and just made it. We built this little like kind of box to put over it, and then I printed out kind of almost like 3D like pictures of ice cream and letters to spell out the name of the business, and used double-sided tape to put it on there, and it gave it this like dimensional look and someone actually thought it was a real life ice cream cart because they came up to us when we were filming, and
Nice.
it was an older couple, and they asked for ice cream. And the guy's like, I'm sorry, it's a fake thing. Like they just ran to McDonald's and got this cone. Like, I don't know. So, yeah.
That's awesome, though.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite things about just being in like theater class or whatever. We got to like learn how to like build the sets and make like realistic looking props and cool stuff like that. So like that's a handy skill to have in the type of field that we kind of want to be in. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if I'd be able to do it on my own again, but yeah, it was a good experience though to have that. So
Nice.
yeah. So what would you rate it then?
I was gonna give it like a 4.5. Like it's got the good production quality. It's got the structure. It has some good character moments. There's some funny stuff in there, but the cringe outweighs the funny. But yeah, it's good. It's well acted enough. That's what it's a good 4.5. You know, I'm usually a really easy target. I usually rate movies pretty high. Like, uh, what film was it? It was like most people would say it was like god awful, like that Joker movie that came out. People, like a lot of people hated it. And I was like, dude, that Joker movie was like pretty fucking good.
I didn't see it, so I really wanted to, but yeah, I didn't. I ended up not. I didn't have a lot of time around that time because I was commuting to
Oh
work. So I
yeah,
really had like no free time whatsoever.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. That's Mystery Team. It's about like what we said earlier, three strapping young lads that think they're part of a mystery team that they've been doing since they were 8 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And they got to solve the cutest little girl comes to their house and this is like, you got to solve the murder of my parents. And then boom, there's the movie. They do
Mm-hmm.
it. They solve the murder. Everyone goes home happy, and Donald Glover ends up dating his new adopted sister.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's pretty much it, though. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, on to Kingdom of Spiders. That
I
movie,
feel like where do we begin with this? There's so many different places and different things to talk about.
it's it's something else, that's for sure. Like
It,
starring William Shatner and his wife and a bunch of other people.
yeah, it is pretty much the simplest way to explain it. Just William Shatner battling spiders in a small town in Arizona. I
These
mean, that's
are
pretty much all you need to know, really.
these spiders are mutated spiders where
Yes.
their venom is like how much more potent? Like three times more potent than normal, or was it
3
even
or 10 or so. I mean, it was like
something? It
some
was
higher
something
number
outrageous.
than what normally it would be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's but this venom kicked in fast. You got bit by this shit. You're pretty much dead.
Yeah.
There's no time to amputate a limb. There's no you're. I don't want to state the obvious, but everybody dies.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and the interesting thing about this is like they like the farmer, the one who was married to Altavis Davis, the woman who was Sammy Davis Jr.'s wife for a little
Yeah.
bit. The one who had the piece or the cattle, the prize cattle who had died at the beginning. Not to give away too many spoilers, but because I know this is a movie. I don't know, but I know this is a movie like everyone who subscribes to your channel, everyone's going to want to watch, I think. Just because it's so absurd.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're like I just love how casual he is of like, yeah, there's this big spider hill. And they're
Yeah.
like, how big? And then you see it and it's
It's
like
like a
the size
mountain.
of
Yeah,
like an actual like hill. And everyone's like, whoa. Like but like he made like, it's there. Oh, kind of like
no, he did say that he's trying to get rid of it, but
I know, but he just didn't even make it sound like he was super concerned,
yeah.
or like, it's big. And that might be not like.
I mean, at that point, I don't think I'd want to try to mess with it. I'm all like, I'm gonna let those spiders do their thing.
Well, yeah, and also it wasn't even that it was spiders; it was tarantulas.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
there's a ton of tarantulas everywhere.
They, I don't know how they got so many of those things. They're
Yeah.
literally everywhere, and I don't. I think there's are some that were fake, possibly, that were just like they're like just there to like not move. They just had like rubber ones or whatever. But there were so many of them that were moving around.
Yeah.
They had. Cause I know like when they're shooting them with the fucking flamethrower, and doing all that, like they have like the fake ones. They're not really killing real
Oh yeah.
tarantulas, or they probably are. And, like they're like, no one gives a fuck about spiders, you know? Like
Well, and in what was it, 1977?
yeah, yeah, nobody.
Like
Yeah, they
they
weren't spider
probably were a
enthusiasts.
little more, lax on stuff like that, I'm sure.
Yeah, the PETA was mainly after
Yeah.
like people wearing like gorilla vests and
Yeah, they were probably more concerned with the actual like cattle or like the dog that it was on
yeah.
that than like the actual maybe tarantulas. I don't know.
That was a prize cattle.
That was. And all his reaction was like, ain't that a crock?
Yeah,
And I
right.
mean, it's a similar delivery to that too. It was like, well, ain't that a crock? You're like, oh, you're gonna live off of money wise. Are you kidding me? If that's all you got?
Yeah. He really didn't give a shit about his prize cattle. Like
No, he was more concerned about the quarantine, which I think is interesting that we watched it as this is
we were
going
on quarantine.
now.
Yeah.
But he was so concerned about being quarantined. He's like, you're not gonna quarantine me. It wasn't even more.
It wasn't even brought up at all. Yeah.
Yeah, he was like, you're not gonna. And then like even his wife was like, you're not gonna quarantine us, are you? It's like what?
But then when he's like at his own house and he's kicking it with the other guy, then like the sheriff rolls up. He's like, "What's this I hear about? You're gonna quarantine?" Like he's all like, "I never said I was gonna quarantine anybody."
I know. There are just so many moments like
it's
that.
so dramatic.
More that were just their prize moments in the movie. And there was the Baron, I think is what his name was, wasn't that it? The pilot.
Oh yeah.
Drawing a little spider on the plane. Which didn't even look like a spider.
It didn't, but
no. It was some other kind of bug, I think. It didn't. I mean, my art skills are terrible, but it really did look like that.
But like you see later on, or like you pick it up later, that he has all the other insects that he's killed.
Yeah.
On the or whatever bugs that he's killed, like painted on there, and I think he didn't have time to paint the spider on there, so he just put it in there as like a reference of where the spider's gonna go on the plane, even though it's just the next one down.
Wow.
You know, that's what I think he was doing. He was just placing it there. So then once he got rid of the spiders, he was gonna paint a real cool one on there with like a banana.
All I know is his scream was by far the greatest scream I've heard.
Oh shit, that was something I should have recorded too. I'm gonna see if I can find that scream real quick.
Oh, I'm sure you can. Yeah, I'm sure you can. Well, it'll just be at some part in the movie. I mean, it'll just like pulling up like I did that one night. It'll just be there, I hope there's a screenshot of it, like a little cool still, just like our favorite part we're gonna end up talking about and like laughing at uncontrollably. But there are too many parts. Like seriously, for those who are tuning in or will tune in later for this, I think, in my personal opinion, this is a movie you should definitely check out, free on YouTube. But this was kind of my pick. Mystery Team was Weiner's pick. My pick was Kingdom of the Spiders. I first saw it in 2012 on IFC. And every single time I watch it, I'm always deliriously tired. So I don't know if it's necessarily as funny as we're making it sound, because
we were like
tired, everything is that funny.
We were pretty tired when we were watching that movie.
I know. But I always am. So I don't know if it's necessarily that funny or if I just find it that way because I'm always that deliriously tired. Yeah. I have no idea. But again, we had talked about this too, where I pretty much, after seeing it this time, realized I think I now know why William Shatner's career is what it is, because you just think of like the most outlandish thing that you can think of and place William Shatner with it. So like someone needs to battle spiders who are taking over a small town. William Shatner.
Exactly.
Movie, we've got it. Like there's a lot of them. But he's made a career. I mean, he's got a ton of movies. Yeah, but we need to hear it.
I know, I guess wanted to mute it
Oh,
while I was looking for it. I went back too far. Yeah, look at that. He's just enjoying himself, spreading some poison.
oh, he's smug because he knows he's gonna get those spiders, man. He's like, oh yeah. I will say beautiful scenery. That was one
Oh yeah, that's definitely.
beautiful scenery.
I went back way too far. It's coming here any second, though. The suspense is killing me. Here he comes.
Oh, yeah.
Here it comes.
It's so girly of a scream. But it works though. But it always reminds me. I don't know if you had seen the episode "Strangers of Candy." It was the racism. I think it was episode.
I only just remember really enjoying the show. I don't remember specific episodes.
Oh god. Well, there was one. It was each one had a theme, obviously, and
Yeah.
more racism. And someone had painted a racial slur on the wall, and Joffrey Jelinek saw it, and all you heard from Chuck Noblet's classroom was a woman's scream, and he's like, "Oh my god, that's Joffrey!" But it was just like clearly a woman's scream, and I always think of something like that with it because it's like that's the girliest scream. So
I try to scream like that for comedic relief, like if someone does like a jump scare, like whatever, and I'm like, ah,
yeah.
something like that. But that dude went full on, like, ah,
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I don't even know, like, what part do we want to talk about next? I mean, there's seriously so much. I feel like we could have just done like a play-by-play watching the entire movie because there was something to mention almost about every scene. So it's kind of like, where do we want to go next?
Well, you got the very beginning with like William Shatner's like rolling around with his dead brother's girlfriend.
Yeah.
Or whatever, and then she calls him by his brother's name, and he gets super salty and just like storms off. I think he takes the horse and just leaves her hanging.
Yeah. Because at first you're like, why in the hell is he acting this way? Like, what was that about? Like,
and then what was going on that caused her to get super dramatic the first time?
I know one of the times was, I don't know if it was the first time or the second time, but Rack, who is William Shatner's character, had brought around the doctor or the scientist.
The second time she was freaking out.
That was the second time?
Yeah, he came over there once before just like to...
Oh, yeah.
Like, just like to hang out with the kid or whatever. Like,
I don't know, but yeah, she was acting all like flirty, like, yeah, you can like not touch me, but it was something along those lines. I remember, but I can't remember if there was a freak out moment with that one.
She was just over the top.
Yeah.
She didn't start freaking out until later on and just like acting all jealous or whatever. And then like when she eventually dies from the spiders.
That whole scene was great too, because it was just, well, she went from 0 to 100 when he brought the woman over.
Yeah.
And that was great to see, just because it was so like, everything's great.
Yeah.
And like shaking and stuff, and like saying everything was okay still, and it wasn't, clearly.
I mean, like, I think that whole scene was meant for a metaphor for just to show us men how, like, when a woman says it's fine, that's really what's
It's
going on inside her head. Is it's
Yeah.
not fine at all. This is
It's exactly right. Yeah. Yeah, internally you may not know how we're freaking out. Yeah.
but that's exactly what's going on in there.
But her death scene was funny. It was because it just started off so normal again, and it went from like that 0 to 100 pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But it didn't, I mean, it seemed like it wasn't as like she was fine, complete meltdown as that scene, as him bringing the woman over. It was her calling the daughter who was playing outside quite a few times.
The daughter
making
not giving a fuck, dude. Like,
and you're just, normally, I'm sure going through her head, if she, if you went against a character's head, it was like, my however old 4-year-old or whatever, isn't listening to me.
However, she was always just putting herself in the most spiderific predicaments. Like when they're at the beach and she's getting stalked by the spiders, and then when she's swinging out the swing, they're like surrounding her. And then one of the best scenes of all time, which we'll get to later.
Yeah. Yes.
I might as well just pull up the YouTube one, because the one I recorded it has like me in the corner of it, and then no one wants to see more of me. Like, there's already enough of that.
Well, it was pretty clear, like on here too. So it was from what you had shown with Baron. So yeah. But it was, that little girl. Yeah, spiders really seemed to like her.
Yeah, it wasn't necessarily her fault, but like anytime she was doing anything, they showed the spiders stalking her, dude. Like,
yeah. Oh yeah, and then there was, and I can't remember her name, but it was Altavice Davis. It was her character. She was having her big panic moment with the spiders.
Oh yeah,
and that was great because the way she handled it, as opposed to everyone else, like she had a gun. She was just shooting the spiders.
Yeah.
And so one got on her hand. I wonder what happened.
Well, like,
she was
like, well, like obviously it doesn't matter what happens to anyone in this movie, because when you get to the ending of it, like everybody's gonna die.
Right.
Yeah. So that's gonna be something that like we could easily segue into Rubber, because remember the beginning of Rubber when he's all like, nothing matters, like none of this, like there's no underlying scene, like whatever, like we'll get to that shit on the next one, but when he's just, and that's exactly what Kingdom of Spiders is. It's just a pointless good time. Like, grab your fucking popcorn, grab a drink, grab a snack, get a blanket, and just enjoy.
How I like to describe it is like you have because compare it with food. You have like a healthy diet, what you're supposed to be on, what you're supposed to eat, what's good for you, and then you have your junk food, and you need the junk food every so often, but there's also that with movies, you know, where you have like your healthy movies. You have like Shawshank Redemption, you have A League of Their Own, you have so many others that like they're staples. They're amazing movies.
I just watched The League of Their Own for the first time like 2 months ago.
Really?
Yeah.
And what did you think?
I thought it was great. I thought I thought I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
And you have those though, these like great movies. These are just they're great movies, they're go-tos all the time because they're wonderful. They're wonderfully made, you know. But sometimes you do need that little junk food. You need that little junk movie and that you always go to. And that for me that's mine. It's like that comfort food, junk food kind of, you know.
Yeah.
Fun.
My go-to for like a really silly movie, it's actually kind of newer. I think it came out like 2015 or whatever. It's called Pop Star, Never Stop, Never Stopping.
I've not heard of that one.
It's starring the Lonely Island Boys.
Okay.
Like what's that? Andy Samberg and his pals.
Okay.
And it's filmed like one of those like VH1 like Where Are They Now fucking type documentaries. And it's about like they were this former rap group like Beastie Boys or whatever, and then they broke up, and then Jake or Andy Samberg's fucking character like goes solo or whatever. He ends up blowing up and being big or whatever. And yeah, like the whole thing is just filmed like one of those Where Are They Now? It's so cool. Like
I need to check that one out then.
It's really silly. There's this song on there, like right in the beginning, talking about like how humble he is or whatever, and then Mariah Carey gets on there talking about like, I really related with that song because I am literally the most humble person that I know.
Here she is. Sure. But we have people dying. Another great scene. When I think it was the sheriff, wasn't it? Went into town because he couldn't find out why no one was answering the phones.
Yeah.
And he went into town and the town was just completely panicked. That was great.
Yeah, that's right. They were rampaging all over the place, and
it looked like the Beatles were coming in, but it wasn't the Beatles. It was like a bunch of tarantulas taking over, and they were like just fearing for their lives as opposed to like, Beatlemania type of thing. Yeah, that was great just because all this chaos is happening. People are running, people are like jumping through windows, people are like falling off their bicycles, and all of these things. And these two super old people just like in the midst of all this craziness,
they're
and
just slowly walking through the crowd.
They're just like walking by, and it's just like, what? I love that part. Just the absurdity of just having like
they were doing the best they could, Rika.
I don't know. But that person though, that character, he was killed by the spiders, but he wasn't necessarily killed by the spiders, if you remember. It was that car, that stray car that hit the water tower. And that stray car though was being like attacked by the spiders and driving out of control, and then it hit the water tower, and that's what actually
that's where a lot of people died.
Which is a little interesting, I think.
I mean, it's not a direct kill from the spider, but it's an indirect kill.
Yeah, yeah. It was that was a little interesting.
That's a little like Pink Panther type, like mousetrap type stuff right there, where it's just a chain of events that cause one good massive kill.
Yeah.
My sister says on the live chat, "Wasapo."
All right.
Wasapo. Hi, Lindy.
Yes. I don't know. What else do we want to mention? There's just so much with it. That's the whole thing.
I usually just go into full spoiler territory and pretty much recap the entire film.
Yeah.
But we can do this differently. I don't know. Like,
I
there's
don't know. Yeah, it depends on, whatever you want to do. I'm trying to think of some other standout scenes. There are just too many. Oh, the person with the woman with the older woman with the Dorothy Hamill haircut. She was like, I don't like this town. It's just too. Remember that? And her husband was like, it's okay, or something. He made the was it like the chemical toilets or the porta potties or something?
yeah,
Like, yeah.
yeah,
And they're like, is this some sort of like a thing here? And I don't like this place. And then like the spiders, remember they like fell on her and she was just like, ah! And just kind of like, that was the great thing about this. People, whenever like one of the spiders would touch them, it's like they just became completely useless. They just lost like any like attack mode type of like I'm gonna fight it off or knock it off. Like they just
only
became like
William Shatner could move around when, well, after getting bit by a spider or being like, well, spiders were on him. Like, only William Shatner could. Everyone else just like froze. And,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. I thought that was like yeah, it was so funny that like it's like the moment one hit them, they're just like lost all will to even fight for their life. Like they were just like, oh, it's got me.
Yeah, like and any normal person would like I'm removing my shirt, and I'm throwing it on the ground, I'm stomping on it, I'm doing whatever I can because these
Oh yeah.
I'm getting out of there. I'm getting
Yeah.
out of there. I wish I would have had enough time to make a freak out montage scene
Of everyone's freakouts.
just everyone's freak outs in general, yeah, because there's so many good ones. It's not just William Shatner's wife.
Yeah.
I forget her character's name,
Ah, yeah.
or Linda.
Yeah.
But even though she had like the best ones,
Yeah.
like altogether, but there were so many good ones that like, and then the lack of freaking out from the old couple that were just walking through. So like, it had a good balance right there, Like,
Yeah. Well,
people
even
not.
the animal freakouts, because the animals were kind of sensing it too. So that was
Oh
another
my god! Just the very beginning with the cow, and like the shit going on with the cow. All
And
those
then it
weird,
did that like freeze frame thing and stuff.
yeah, all those weird close ups and they're shots. The cow's like doing all these sexy poses. Like, what the fuck is going on?
And that's like a great way to introduce the movie and kind of the tone of like what you're going to watch for the next 90 minutes.
Yeah, but like, so like
Yeah.
that shit right there is a super absurd, right? But then the rest of the movie tries to act like it's serious, but then in other parts it'll just throw you off again.
Mhm.
Like this heroic scene right here. I gotta play it. I've been itching.
Is this our scene?
Yes.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is it.
This is the true act of heroism right here.
So you gotta put that full screen.
Gotta get the fire extinguisher. Jump, girl. And now she's covered in spiders. Like, not only does he just violently, throw her on the ground, she's covered in spiders out of nowhere. Like, what the actual fuck is going on?
Oh, we're gonna watch it again.
It's so good. Like, look at that. All right, he's got her. Get out of the room. No, just throw her out of the fucking ground.
The scene I love calling William Shatner throws little kids.
Shout out to William Shatner for
Yeah.
being children in horror films. True American hero, you are.
I don't care how many times I see it. That's still funny.
This is right before he became Captain James T. Kirk of the Enterprise. So, because like he was the last survivor on Earth after the spiders take over, and they just the Enterprise ends up swooping him up, and they're like, "Hey, you know, like, sorry about your planet, bro. We got there too late, but like, you want to be captain of our ship?" And he's all like, "Hell yeah, dude, thanks." So now he goes out and just freaking banging alien broads now, when he was just doing the best he could to bang human broads before. That's how he would say it. I'm just speaking in his language. Broads. Yeah. Broads.
Yeah, that's gotta be one of the highlights, definitely, of the movie. By far. It is. It's
like, just get out of the room after you rescue her. He just tosses her down, and she's immediately swarmed by more spiders. Where she's in an even worse situation than she was in on the bed.
Well, it was that heroic moment. Then all of a sudden, it was ruined by an act of not so much heroism of tossing a kid on the ground.
And then the dude's just spraying her with the thing, and then that doesn't even work. She's still got like 8 spiders on her that he's like beating off of her, like, like fucking bongo drums, like she's pounding on her back.
Oh, and he is attacked quite a bit in the basement.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah, but he's fine. He's able to get him off, you know, like he's like calmly just gets rid, like, all right.
Wow. Yeah, because remember he had to like try to get his way up the stairs, remember, after they were all on him and he collapsed?
Yeah.
Because they were like all over his face and everything.
Yeah,
but yet he was the only one who could survive all that, though.
Yeah, that didn't even make any sense.
No.
Because everybody else was dead like instantly.
They'd have like 2 spiders on him and they were dead. And like he was covered in them.
Yeah.
Made his way up the stairs. All the way through.
And he was bit and he was like dying or whatever, right? And then they fixed him somehow. Like,
yeah. So I think they did that with everyone else.
Yeah. Like, what the actual frick, dude? Like, I don't buy it.
No.
I don't buy it.
Yeah, because it's not like he had taken some serum or anything that, you know.
Did they have anything like that? I don't think they had anything like that. They just knew that the venom was super deadly.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. Well, see, I'm thinking also of this movie I saw. It was shortly after we watched that, The Savage Bees, and they came up with like a serum or some kind of antidote or something for it. It was another one of those really horrible ones. That one was from like NBC, 1976, one of those kind of horrible ones.
Was it a made-for-TV film?
Yeah, kind of like the other one we saw, Killdozer. That was a made-for-TV, I think.
Really?
Was it?
That was pretty good for made-for-TV.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe it wasn't. I don't know, but I know The Savage Bees was.
Nice.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it, but it's been popping up. Like when I look at it usually wants to pop up after Kingdom of Spiders.
It's bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like good bad or bad bad?
Kind of bad kind of. You know, like this one was, in my opinion, a good bad. Like
this movie is awesome.
There were so many enjoyable moments that, you know, made the bad like good and funny. You know? I don't know if you necessarily really cared about the characters, and you really should, but I mean,
I enjoyed all the characters. Like I got into it. Like anytime they showed
oh, I
someone
did
new,
too.
like I was into it. Even with like movies like Rubber, where they tell you where nothing even matters in the movie, I was still enjoying the characters. Like
Yeah.
there
Oh
was
yeah.
there was the weird guy with the sunglasses that like the girl, the survivor girl flipped off. There was that guy that like, really had no part in the movie except to die. I enjoyed his character. I enjoyed the officer, the whatever. Like yeah.
There was just a couple of things with that movie, but I enjoyed that one though. I know we're probably going to talk about that later, unless we want to talk about it now. It's come up now a couple times.
Oh man, no, we'll get more in depth
Yeah,
with
okay.
Rubber on the next one.
Yeah.
We got. I'm pretty sure we're gonna keep on watching more movies
Oh yeah.
and
We
just
have to.
continue this.
We
This
have to.
is fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We totally have to.
The
I
next
like
movie I'm picking isn't necessarily a bad movie. It's like it's a good movie.
really. Which
Yeah.
one?
Have you seen Death to Smoochie?
Yes, I like that one.
Oh, see, all right. I'll pick something different. Then.
No, I was writing a script in grad school, and it was about a daytime talk show host who had faked his own death, and one of the and he has to work his way back to life, and a couple of professors were like, because I worked on that one in two different classes, and
Yeah.
a couple of professors were like, "Watch Dr. Smoochie," and I'm like, "I will." So I enjoyed it.
All right. I already thought of something else for what I'm gonna pick then instead.
See, I can't, because I mean, I have a couple of others, but if you had trouble finding the Uninvited, the one that I like, not the actual one
Yeah.
that was released in theaters, but the one with the guy from Men at Work and the girl from Wet Hot American Summer. That one, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if you'll be able to find the other two.
I will look. You just give
I
me
can
the name.
remember one of the titles of like one of them. I can't remember.
So when you were talking about someone who fakes their own death, it just instantly made me think of the other movie. Did you ever see Pauly Shore is Dead?
No, I have not seen that one.
It's
No.
about him faking his own death because everyone's all like, "Man, Pauly Shore's washed up and he sucks, dude." So he fakes his own death, and then everyone's all like, "Dude, Pauly Shore's the shit, dude. Like he was a genius. He died before his time." You know, like just totally just ass kissing him. But then they find out he fakes his own death, and they're like, everyone just hates him again. Like, it's really good.
This one is a little different because it was, and I just finally, like a couple of years ago, came up because everyone who read it's like, there's just one thing off, and I don't know what it is. And I'm like, I know there is, and that's why I'm asking you, like, what else? And it was like a person. He was like, my character Paulie was actually, and I did not base that off of the Pauly Shore is Dead, but he was like just so stupid and wanted to be an actor, and he had a failed acting career, and they said, if you fake your own death, like people are going to take you seriously as an actor. And like the producer was just like really manipulative, and he was like, okay, and didn't realize that that people actually did like believe that he really died. And there was a funeral service on his daytime talk show, trashy one, kind of like a Springer like talk show and everything.
Yeah.
So then he had to try to work his way back and prove that he was alive to get his show back and stuff. And so it's really weak. It's really, as you can tell, weak. But there was only 2 drafts of it for a reason because I couldn't think of it. But now I know why some of the characters and stuff I've just not gone back to do a rewrite. But the funeral had in one draft, it had Tito Jackson singing "Wind Beneath My Wings" to a montage of Paula Kincaid on his show. And my professor said I wrote it like so well. He's like, but you're gonna have to get rid of it.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh.
Yeah, you can't.
So
you can't have
another
someone that
character
resembles
him to care. so that we can care about this other character who now is like completely gone from the next draft that I do. So of course, you know,
you can have someone that resembles Tito Jackson. You can't have Tito Jackson.
Why couldn't I have Tito?
I don't know.
Yeah, you could.
You can?
Yeah.
Okay. Then why
They're just really tricky with songs, though. So,
okay.
Yeah. But if it's like a public figure, it can be fine.
Okay. That was my next guess. Was it the song? And then you guys.
For a spec, yeah, kind of, you know, if it were to ever get picked up, which I know this one wouldn't, but, you know, then you'd have to change. But
I don't know. I've seen a lot of garbage get picked up.
my garbage hasn't, so.
Yeah. I haven't put anything out there yet, so. And I was mainly just going to because I'm doing comic books, I was mainly just going to self-publish under the label that I own.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens with any of that. It's all expensive. Yeah. It's all expensive.
It is. It is. Yeah. So.
How would you rate Kingdom of Spiders?
Enjoyability, I would say like 8, but I don't think it's necessarily the greatest movie of all time. But just enjoyability for the junk food movie category, I think. The one where you just need that, like, so bad it's good element, I think would be a good, you know.
I showed a friend that scene when he throws the kid down or whatever, and she was instantly just like, nope, fuck that movie, like, nope, no spiders. I was like, come, dude, you gotta watch it just once and you'll laugh here. She's like, nope, can't do it. So if you're really afraid of spiders, especially super poisonous tarantulas, they're literally everywhere. They surround the world and they take over, and their entire world's their kingdom.
Yeah,
or at least Arizona. We don't know what happened everywhere else.
Yeah. Maybe beautiful scenery, though. I mean, that's one thing.
Yeah, honestly,
that's like legit. Like, there's beautiful scenery.
It really is. I give it an 8 too. For like, a lot of it's just the same reasons. It's just it's super enjoyable. It's action packed. It's over the top when it needs to be. It's good. I like it.
Yeah. And I think the next two that we're gonna do, like, they both kind of surprised us.
Yeah.
Second night.
Yeah, definitely.
I think my idea of, hey, let's pick something that looks really bad that is just going to be horrible kind of almost backfired a little bit, I think.
Yeah. Like, I got stuff to say about Killdozer.
Yeah.
I gotta hold in for like a week or whatever, whenever we do the next one.
I know. That's how I feel about Rubber. Yeah. There's just yeah.
Oh man.
I don't know. Anything else? Like, what do we?
I don't think we left anything out.
No, I don't think so. I mean, that was it.
Yeah. That was it. If any of you guys that are watching now or watching later have any suggestions for bad, good, or whatever movies you enjoy, movies you want to hear us talk about, shoot that shit in the live chat, shoot that shit in the comments.
Yeah,
because that's all we can really do in the time of quarantine was work, go home, watch movies, and just like do whatever, like laundry. I'm doing laundry right now. That's all I got. That's all I got to do.
I did laundry earlier today. Yeah. And then I found that one exercise clip on YouTube, and I was just like, looks kind of fun. And it was.
That's good. That's good. We gotta get out. We gotta get out of quarantine shape just in time for winter.
So we can get into like
So we
holiday
get right
food
to
shape,
get
like get
right back
everybody
into.
ready for like Hollywood food or holiday food. Yeah. Uh-huh. And then try to work it off again in January.
Yes. Yes.
um, but
Um,
yeah, if there's anything, I'm open to watching it. The only couple I can think of, there's one and I can't remember it, and I'm gonna have to look it up. I think Anna Paquin might be in it. It was a really bad horror movie. And the ones that I am really thinking of are just bad horror movies that were on IFC when I was in grad school, like in between like studying and writing papers and reading all of this academia garbage this from the previous program that I was in that I
yeah.
did not understand at all. So then seeing a movie like Kingdom of the Spiders was just worth it because it was a good balance of like it brought my brain back to normal somehow.
Yeah.
And
Sometimes you just need something like that to
yeah.
just get it all away, and then it can come back in on its own pace. Like just to, yeah.
There was another one too. I want to say it was called Black Mirror. I could be wrong, or Dark Mirror, something like that. And it was about a photographer who, like, if her camera took a picture of someone, they ended up dead, and they weren't really sure why or how. And then, of course, we realized then later what's going on. But that was another one that I found myself watching all the time. Not the greatest, but is another one.
So she was just killing the people that
Yeah,
she
very
took
much.
pictures of. Okay.
Yeah. But we don't know certain things until
Yeah.
Act 3, end of Act 2, beginning Act 3, and then you're like, and why certain things are happening. Yeah.
At first, I thought it was gonna be something like Death Note, where like it's a notebook, and if you write someone's name down in the notebook, they'll die of like a heart attack. Or you could write down specific ways that they die, like they do something, like they're crossing the street, they get hit by a truck. You can like write that down in the thing, and it will happen. And
Kind of, it was just more of whenever her camera took, then that person would just end up dead somehow.
but she wasn't going out of her way to like take pictures of these people and then go kill them on her own.
There were a couple people she took pictures of, and then they mysteriously ended up dead. But we didn't find out later though that it was, into the movie that it was her.
Yeah.
So it kind of left you like, well, who's killing them? Is it this person? Is it this person? Is it this person? And then we realized why and what was going on in her mind. So,
Ah.
yeah.
I'm gonna have to check that out.
Yeah. Don't know if that would be an easier find than The Uninvited. So I've brought it up a couple of times, The Uninvited. Obviously, I've talked to you about it, but whoever's tuning in, just there was a movie in 2008 where Colin Hay, who was in the 80s band Men at Work, and Marguerite Moreau, who played Katie from Wet Hot American Summer. They're a married couple, and she has a fear of open spaces. And so for a good portion of the movie, she is actually facing the wall, probably about like this far from the wall. And that's like all we see. That's like a good maybe like 7 to 10 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
Because she just gets really afraid of the spaces again. So she turns and faces the wall. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah.
See, like there's a movie that came out a year later called The Uninvited, and
Yeah.
that's the easiest one to find.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's not the same movie at all.
I
And
know.
it
Yeah.
makes me mad.
Yeah. Yeah. Because when I was telling you about it, I'm like, it's not the one that was popular. It's the one people have never heard of. And that's the harder one to find.
Yeah.
But Yeah, I love just watching like the older movies too. Like some of the like obviously, they had the Kingdom of Spiders and some of the other ones from the 70s,
Yeah,
and 80s and stuff. Devil Dog, Hound of Hell.
I've
Told you
heard of
about
that
that
one.
one. Yeah, I told you about that one.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah, I was like, I saw it before I went to school, and now I'm watching it, and I'm like, I don't remember it being this long. It could have been like one of those short films that's longer, like a half hour,
Yeah.
and it still would have like been great. But that one's just stupid.
Yeah,
Although it
no
has
good.
like, did I ever send it to you? It has the greatest like chasing dog chase scene. Did I send that to you?
No, but now I need to see it.
Yeah. Yeah. You might want to pull it up, or you might want to.
Do I just type in greatest dog chase scene?
No, let me tell you what to put in. Let me take a peek here. Um, Let me see. I'm just trying to find it. So there's this one. Let's see. There was this one, it was like a fan-made video, and it just like randomly had this scene in it. So I don't know if it's available on YouTube or if it's not. I mean, I'm just seeing pictures and stills from it right now, and it's hilarious. Um, yeah, that music just, uh, maybe if we, it's just a super bad movie.
Is
Here
it,
we go. Awesomely bad movie.
is the chase scene late at night?
Not, that's, it's in the evening, but it's indoors. Do you
Oh,
have Facebook up?
yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna send you the link. And it'll be at, and I'll tell you where that part is. Just, I mean, the whole thing is just so worthy of watching because it just shows you how bad the movie is, but it is. Oh no, she's getting the kids away from the scene here, and roughly 3:27, roughly, because one scene ends and he will, or the dog will come in. It's just one of those things where
You
you're
say
just
20
like,
seconds?
yeah, 3 minutes, 27 seconds.
3 minutes.
I mean, the whole, like I said, the whole thing's worth watching of like that video. It's almost better than the movie itself, but there are a few parts of that movie where you're just like, what the hell? I mean, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's really bad.
A classic case of paranoia. A man hounded by his dog.
Here you go.
Dog's so cute.
I know, right?
Why she keep turning around?
Like waiting for it. Like, okay, when my kid are on?
This dog is too well behaved to be a devil dog. Just chilling.
Oh no, it's the mental powers of the dog that,
Oh shoot! Shut the door.
But I mean, it's just so stupid because she's just like waiting for the dog to just come after her.
Yeah.
She could have had that door shut a long time ago before the dog even made it to the stairs. Like,
yeah. But I guess he can open doors.
yeah, and it's his mental powers because that one scene right at the beginning when we'd start laughing where the dog's just staring at that guy in the yard.
Yeah.
So the dog is like using the mental powers, turned on the broken lawnmower,
Oh
and
shoot!
trying to get the guy to put his hand in.
Shoot!
And
Damn.
so he has got to like fight with like every bit of like kind of, you know, to like not. And he's the only person who can defeat him. He's the only that dad because like his kids and his wife get like possessed by this dog and think the dog's great and stuff, even though it's killing everybody.
That sounds awesome. Like on paper.
Well, yeah, on paper. That's a big difference on paper.
Like,
yeah. Yeah, it was. And that's why I said back before I like really studied anything, my hair is acting really weird. I don't know why.
I can
But
see
anyway,
it.
my thing. And but like it was a little more tolerable. And then now I'm like, why is this taking so long? Oh, this movie's too long.
Yeah.
I think it's only like an hour and a half, something like that, you know. But it just felt too.
It just feels like it's feels
it's
like
like you're really stretching things out to try to make it. Like I said,
like you could have wrapped this up in 40 minutes. Come on, Devil Dog.
Yeah, really. Yeah. I mean, yeah, and then yeah, he takes a trip to South America, and you're just like, what the hell?
Oh shoot!
How are y'all, Ward? I'm doing well.
Hey there, Godzilla fan. I'm doing good too. How you doing? You're coming in right when we're wrapping things up. You got poor timing there, Godzilla fan.
Maybe for the next one, like, I don't know. I don't have anyone who follows you on like my Facebook, but like post that we're gonna do a live one or something.
Yeah.
I posted the doll page. Maybe we can get some. Hopefully,
the doll page
group.
What's the doll page?
Well, the writers group in Chicago.
Ah.
Yeah, we're the Chicago Dolls. So.
Okay.
Yeah, and try to do that maybe.
Yeah.
I feel like this one would have been. I mean, this one was pretty entertaining. It was a fun night.
Yeah,
it was fun. So, Godzilla fan, you really did miss a few great scenes. I don't know. I feel like we might need to see that scene again. Because we know it's like our favorite scene in the movie.
It's good. Where was that at? It's closer to the end here. All right.
Do we want
to? I appreciate like ever since then you always send me anything you can find that has anything to do with child abuse.
Oh, yeah. Well, I had forgotten this scene was in the movie, and then when I saw it, it was just like that was the funniest scene ever. So this is the guy who make the porta potties.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the porta potty guy.
Jump, atta girl.
Dose her with the beat her.
You know what else you could say? Wait, you know what else?
Huh?
Show Linda's mom's death scene. How over the top she is.
We gotta find where that is.
I don't know. Yeah.
Her dying or
as though like I should probably just put my like glasses on. Would it be farther up because she's in their possession because she's dead? So it had to have been closer. Like that's still early on.
Oh, you want to see her dead scene?
Yeah, is that what were you looking for? Were you looking for her over the top woman arrival?
Yeah.
Yeah, either one.
Let's see. Okay, this is it.
It's time to come in anyway. Come on.
Yeah, dude, she is surrounded.
Yeah, they like her. I don't know why.
They really like her.
Linda, I said no more stalling. It's time to come in and eat. Oh my God,
Look at her run.
Right?
They're all over. Oh, they're everywhere. Get out of here, Linda. So Linda was the character, just the wrong one.
Yeah.
She's dead.
I feel like there are just so many scenes from that movie. Like, if you could get away with it, I don't know if you could copyright wise to just go through and like you and I scene by scene narration of like of like that movie because there were just so many things.
Well, I was thinking about recording our movie sessions on a private private thing, and then maybe starting up a Patreon and allowing people to view our original viewings on Patreon.
Yeah, because that's sometimes when we both come up with the really good like one-liners during them.
Yeah,
like the Vanilla Ice teen like Tiger Beat comments that I had. I mean,
those were good.
Those were really good.
Those were good.
And I feel like if I were to, when we get to one other, when we get to that day that we're reviewing that one, it may not pack as much punch,
Yeah, it might not. I don't even remember a lot of the shit that I was saying about that movie because it was that movie was so much fun. Like it was.
I was surprised at that one too. I will say. I would join Patreon.
Yeah, I'm thank you, Godzilla fan.
Yeah, that would be fun. And Godzilla fan, earlier, Weiner had mentioned if there's any movies you would like, for us to see.
He's gonna want us to watch 12 Angry Men. We've already watched that shit in like English class in high school.
Oh yeah, or have had to read it and stuff. Read the play it. Yeah.
He's gonna want us to watch maybe Godzilla movies, obviously.
Yeah.
I don't know. This dude, like he's like 14 or 15 years old, but he's like an old soul, dude. Like he likes all these like old movies from like the 70s, the 60s, the 50s. Like he's a pretty cool kid.
Cool. How did you know? So yeah, I don't know. I'm having trouble kind of thinking about the next time though, Yeah. Especially because I've seen primarily the 50s. Yeah. I really love like the creature features. I love those like little B movie things. I love educational films. I think those are amazing. Sid Davis educational films are just, in my opinion, the best ones because there's just that little bit of twisted darkness in there that was just so funny. The Giant Claw, I've never heard that.
Oh, I'll jot that one down here. Godzilla fans probably going to come through clutch with some hits. I just feel it.
The Giant Claw. Let's see. Ooh, it is. It's like a 57. And the full movie is online.
Nice.
Yeah, I love stuff like that. I love like I'm always open to pretty much anything, but those are kind of like the fun ones for me to kind of watch. Like a while back. Oh, it's so that's what we like
we're
to hear.
looking for.
Yeah.
That's what we're looking for.
Well, like sometime last year, and I can't remember when it was, but Faster Pussycat Kill Kill was on YouTube. So I just decided to watch that. Good old Varla. And yeah. But I mean, I love those kind of films, but educational films are great. Love that comment. It's essentially the monster version of The Room.
Oh, that's good. See,
Yeah.
I have faith in this kid. But we got to close this out before he starts talking in Russian. That's good.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say The Room, that's something like I had to watch in grad school for how not to write a movie, and specifically how not to write a scene. Yeah.
I think the movie could have been way better. The Room could have been like actually it's good how it is because it's like bad or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think it could have had a way better production value. But he would just listen to his team. They were like, "Hey, we should film this outside." We're like, instead of building a set that looks exactly like
outside. Well, there's someone who actually made a trailer, and it's like I can't remember how it's titled, but it's kind of in the vein of like, I'm pretty sure this is what Tommy Wiseau thought The Room was going to look like, and how he intended it. And then you watch this trailer and you're like, yeah, this looks like a really bad Lifetime movie. This actually makes sense. I could see that, and then, that's obviously not what we got.
Yeah, we got a masterpiece that people will forever talk about to this very day.
Oh, hi, Mark. I love when he goes into the flower shop. He's like, hi, doggy. Because there's that dog. He's like, hi, doggy.
In one of the FMLs that I filmed with my buddy Wyatt, we did that because I'm going to go kiss this girl because I don't know that she's sleepwalking, and we're hanging out on New Year's Eve, and we're going in for the midnight kiss or whatever. She wakes up like right when I'm about to kiss her. She's like, "Get off me, you pervert!" And I'm like, "I'm not a pervert. I'm not." And then her brother coming around the corner, and I'm like, "Oh, hi, Mark." So we paid homage to The Room.
Well, then what I love too about that one is the scene where Denny's up on the roof and the guy, he's like, "Where's my money? Where's my money?"
Yeah.
And when they come in and he's like, you just faintly hear Tommy Wiseau say, "Off to jail." It's like, what? Yeah, we kind of get that. You're gonna take him off to jail. We get it. But then like 2 minutes later, he's back. Like, jail is just downstairs.
Yeah.
I remember watching it the first time and I'm like, that's how people react. Like, I used to work at a daycare. That's how people would like take their kids and drop them off and just leave. Like, it took that quick of a time. Like, they just wanted to get their kids, go. Just like grab them, go. You're like, off to daycare. Whoop,
Yeah.
and then they're back. Like, yeah. Them. Okay.
It's another movie. Like, I found about The Room in like the weirdest way because I fell asleep listening to like gaming channels on YouTube. I woke up to PewDiePie playing a computer game that was essentially like a scene by scene version of The Room. Just all the characters were just like little pixelated versions of themselves. Like there's all the scenes where they're tossing the football around.
That's the scene we were shown that we're like, our professor, because he went about saying how some scenes can be short and effective. And then he showed us one of them. Some scenes can be longer. You know, you don't want to make a scene too long, but they could be longer and they could still be effective. And then he showed it. And then, you know, he's like, and here's a scene from The Room. And he showed that one with the football. And when he turned it off, he was like, could anyone tell me what's going on? What does this scene mean? What, you know, what's the purpose? And we're all just like, and he's like, yeah, don't do that.
They get dressed up in
Make
their
sure your scene has purpose. Make sure there's, you know.
They get dressed up in their wedding attire. They're like, hey, let's go play some sports. You know?
Yeah. Them. An endless terror, nameless horror. Kill one and two take its place. Huh.
Like a Hydra.
1954.
One of my favorite movies came out in 1954.
And that is?
The Seven Samurai.
Nice.
That's a Japanese film. It's really good.
It is.
You seen it?
Yeah, undergrad. Yeah.
They make you watch all the good films.
Well, it depends. Like, I mean, I don't want to, I'm gonna sound like an idiot, but like, I think it's because I've had to watch it too many times, I think. Within the course of like my undergrad, which I did community college and then went off to a 4-year. So it was like a 5-year stint for me because I only took just what was needed each year, kind of, instead of like 5 classes, I do like 3 to 4, you know? So it extended the time.
Yeah.
And I just had to watch Citizen Kane too many times.
I've never even seen it.
I don't care for it. I appreciate what it did for cinema and all of the, you know, great things, the cinematography. Just there's so many different aspects of it. But so I respect it in that sense, but I just don't like Orson Welles. I think that's just what it boils down to because I saw there was another movie that we had to watch where he was in it. And I did not like that either. And I can't remember what it was, but Charlton Heston, I think, was in it. Let me take a peek here.
Planet of the Apes, one of the best franchises ever.
Yeah.
I figured you would disagree with that.
Touch of Evil. That's what the movie was called.
Touch of Evil.
Yeah, and I didn't care for that one. But I think it was that one that I realized. I don't know if it's necessarily the movies. I just don't like Orson Welles. War of the Worlds was cool when he did that like broadcast. That was cool because people thought it was real, and I mean that was cool kind of thing. But the movie stuff, I don't think, you know.
Yeah, I think you're talking about like the original War of the Worlds movie was cool.
Which original? Like what? Which one?
Like one of them old black and white ones. I didn't know that. I thought there was just one original, and then there was the Tom Cruise one.
Yeah, I'm just used to like the radio broadcast of it where people thought it was real.
Ah.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's why I like that. That was cool. But I think it was just I've come to the conclusion of it's just Orson Welles. Yeah. But yeah. I sound like a film snob. Like
I was hoping you were going to get pretentious at one point, just because.
Well, no, if I really do, like, I mean, I could go into a little more, but no, I could, but I think I could save some of that for Rubber because then I can do like the humble brags of like, oh, when I'm at film festivals, and I can throw those. I
Yeah.
can do that. Let me think of some of my film festival stories, and I can tell you some of those then too.
Nice.
I'm almost looking forward to really talking about Rubber. Are you? I
Huh?
am.
What?
Huh?
What'd you say?
I said I'm really looking forward to talking about Rubber. Are you?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
that movie was surprisingly like really good.
Yes. It was so interesting.
And none of it matters.
Yeah, like I already know there are quite a few things I want to like, kind of like Kingdom of the Spiders, where there are so many things I wanted to touch on. It's like there's so many things with that one I want to touch on. I feel like I need to write them down so I don't forget. It'll be like therapy. I'll have my list and I'll be like, oh yeah, and then this and blah blah blah.
Oh,
I want to mention this and what little time we have.
yeah, and I'll start wearing glasses and fucking put on a fucking some sort of hat that makes me look like a douchebag.
I got that. I got mine.
Your glasses make you look cool though.
Yeah, I like my glasses. Well, no, they're cool because they're red. I mean, they're like a very shiny red, and I like them, and they fit well and everything. So
start wearing my scarf and drinking a freaking cappuccino during our reviews. Like, actually, this is how I saw this scene.
yeah. Oh man, yeah. Yeah, I can't wait to do like the next couple, but I'm still thinking about like the next, like what our next
What was better?
not only when, but like the next like film.
Yeah, you better get to it.
I know. I feel like I'm just gonna have to maybe do what I did that one time, although it kind of did backfire with Killdozer. But I might just start searching for like really bad, like what sounds bad.
My friend Catherine is supposed to be hooking us up with bad movies too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice. My boss was the one who brought up Vanilla Ice's movie. We have her to thank, so that's
your boss deserves a hug.
Yeah.
For that one.
Yeah, I'll have to tell her about that tomorrow. Thank you. That was fun. How would you look like if you wore a fedora as opposed to your straw hats?
My straw hat fedora that I wear in my comedy.
Like an actual fedora, not just a straw hat fedora. Like that should be it. Yeah. Should we like dress up as, I won't say the film snob, but like I
just think I'm eventually gonna become one.
And to an extent, I am, but it's not necessarily. Again, like I told you, part of it's my education. So I look at like stupid shit that like other people wouldn't look at. You know? So yeah, I could get that way, but I could put my beret on and everything.
Yeah. Oh, your berets are super cute though, so that'd be fine anyway.
I only got one. It's just that tan one.
Just that one? Okay.
Yeah, because I was thinking about like trying to get a black one at some point, because then I could just wear that with anything.
For some reason, I was thinking you had a red one, almost the same shade as what your glasses are.
No,
that'd be awesome.
I don't. I found that when I had sprained my ankle and I was in El Segundo, I had gone out to breakfast one morning because I was tired of lying around. And there was a Nordstrom rack that was nearby. And so I ended up going there, and it was on like the clearance rack at Nordstrom rack. And it was that one. And then there was also a fuchsia one, which I really liked as well. And I now am actually thinking I should have got that one too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
But I only just got the tan one. So, because I knew I was getting that coat for Christmas. And so I was like, that's going to go with it.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, now you just need a fuchsia coat to go with the fuchsia beret.
I didn't get it, so I don't know.
Yeah. I don't, you can find something online.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, like I said, the only thing I was thinking was just like black because I know it'd go with everything.
Yeah.
But yeah. I've got that other cute really hat, like the other really cute hat though that I got it there as well. Not Nordstrom Rack, but actually in Santa Monica that same trip. I got 3 hats on that trip. I got that floppy tan one. And I think I've shown you a picture of me in that.
Yeah.
And then I got this other really cool hat. It's like a black one that I don't think you've seen that one, but
I don't know.
Become
Maybe.
One with the Films, yes.
But I also liked, it made me feel special when you were like, hey, there's this store out here that's just got like all these straw hats, and it made me think of you. And I was like, yay.
It was Whole Foods. It was Whole Foods in El
Whole Food,
Segundo.
yeah.
They have an entire aisle. like what you're wearing now, straw hats. They had like a walking. They had like the walking. It was like this was like the wiener aisle of Whole Foods.
Well, like, I don't know if you noticed, but like in the past year of doing comedy, I've been like, I don't wear shorts anymore. I don't like just like I've been wearing like slacks with like dress shoes and like a
Yeah.
nice shirt. And then I just will put on a shitty straw hat after because I have to do the hat at all times at this point.
Yeah.
That's otherwise
Everyone knows you that way. Everyone knows that.
It's just like Bert Kreischer eventually always has to remove his shirt.
Yeah.
You know, it's just there's just things that you have to do at one point, and yeah.
I know. I feel like I always have to talk about musicians. That's what I feel like. That gets the most laughs and stuff because that's
Yeah.
Great quote, like that. Like that comment.
Yeah, I see that. That's a good quote list to have there.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just glad Whole Foods is representing my style.
I know, Southern California, that's where it is. If style's big there, if they have a whole aisle dedicated to it.
Man, I don't want to be associated with Southern Californian people.
You know what? Every time I'm there, people are really nice. Like they're really nice.
Well, you probably look like you're one of them, so they just think you're one of them.
No, like I'll just start talking to like some of the business owners or people who work in whatever store I go into, and if it's like a small shop especially, and come to find out like, oh yeah, I'm from the Midwest too, and we just start talking about stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and because it's like, oh, I moved away because I don't like the winters, and it's like,
yeah, for sure.
You know, so yeah, I don't know. I've only had one bad, well, not really bad, but just annoying experience with someone. I was in Los Angeles off of Hollywood Boulevard, and I was at a film festival. I was supposed to go to a party. Okay, this is a film festival story I'll share now as opposed to when we rubber, okay? But because we were just talking about people, and it just kind of falls under that category of like conversations with people. So he was a parking attendant at this like parking deck, and he started talking. He mentioned something, and I'm like, oh, how much is that? I don't see a sign. And he's like, yeah, it's $20. I'm like, okay. And so no one else was around. I was waiting for the club to open because they opened at 10. And I was just trying to start conversations, and he's like, yeah, he's like, yeah, I noticed that about Americans. They just don't shut up. And I'm like, yeah, because we're friendly people. And I'm just like, I'm just going to keep talking to you because you want me to clearly like be quiet.
Yeah, now
And then
you're
he's like,
just being a
around the
dick.
corner are gangs. And I'm like, oh, thanks for telling me. And then he's like,
By
because
the way,
I just said, when he asked where I was from, I just said Chicago, because if you try to explain Rockford, it just, people are like, what, where,
yeah,
what?
sometimes it's
You know,
easier.
so, you know, or like outside of Chicago.
Yeah.
Because then they don't care. They don't even ask. They're just, they know a city and they're like, oh, it's super violent. And I'm like, yeah, it's getting better though in some parts.
And some
Yeah, you know, well, no, but I was like, I know someone who like deals with gangs and stuff, you know, so it's just certain, you know, there's some areas, but there's some that are like really safe areas too. And he's like, no, Chicago's just bad. And I'm like, have you ever been there? And he's like, no, I don't want to go. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, there are gangs around here. And I'm like, okay.
cool
And he's
story.
like, you're not
Yeah.
scared? I'm like, well, I now know where not to go.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm like, what do you want me to do? Run away? No, I mean, really, like, what was it? I don't know.
You just
But yeah,
gotta
when
keep,
as soon as he was like, you know, American,
gotta
you're
keep
annoying
bothering him.
because of talking too much, I was just like, I'm gonna keep talking.
Yeah, at that point you just keep on bothering this person because they obviously don't want to be bothered and they're being a dick about it. So like you just gotta continue to bother them.
Well, and everyone else, like, you know, it said they've always been really kind, really like open to conversation,
Yeah.
you know, and even the people like some of like the bartenders who've like born and raised in California type of stuff, you know, and then they just maybe moved to LA to try to act or something. Really nice too. So I don't know what his problem was, if he was just having an off night or what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some people are just dicks. I don't know. Like,
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah.
and then you meet their parents and they're lovely people. They're like, I don't know what happened. Like, it just turned out that way.
Yeah, who knows?
Well, thanks for coming on. It's
Well, thank
always
you
a
for having
pleasure.
me.
It's always a pleasure chatting with you. Like,
Always. You too, man.
hell yeah. Thanks for y'all for tuning in on the live chat. It's always fun. A Godzilla fan coming in clutch with the movie titles.
Yes. Thank you.
And I know it's been like 3 weeks since the last one, but I'm not as busy as I was. I was working a new job. I was transitioning into availability and all this other stuff. So like now I'll be coming back on more frequent with on Twitch. For anyone who's watching on Twitch, I'm going to be doing the Black Clover watch throughs again. I'm going to bring the watch parties back for Black Clover, and then anyone on the YouTube, I got another comedy video coming up that I was just too busy to upload, and Reika and I are going to be doing this movie review series, and
Yeah,
it's going to be fun. And like I mentioned before, Jeremy and I know you guys miss Jeremy. We're going to be doing our Adam Sandler thing eventually, and those are going to be fun too. And just to stay tuned and keep. I'm glad you guys stayed faithful after my 3-week hiatus. That shit makes me feel good. All right. Goodbye.
Bye.